goings on and the unwarranted public utterances by some senior officials of the UDA.
Well, Mwanchi, how are you doing? I hope you're doing very fine. Happy Sunday. Now, on 16th of April, when we were just chilling, to our screens came the Honorable Me, that is Omanyo, the Acting Secretary General for ODM, or should I say Deputy. She came out, read the executive management, national executive management decisions, and it threw people off balance because they came out guns blazing, accusing UDA of trying to poach members of ODM, accusing UDA of trying to field candidates in their backyard, and so on and so forth. And even though Oburu later came out and said that there's no way they could suspend something that has not yet begun, that is the coalition talks, but that was one of the decisions that they suspend even campaigning for Ruto for 2027. Yeah, this is it's like it's a sign of danger. They've seen danger and they've decided to retreat. Yeah, the news done by Citizen. Listen in.
The ODM Central Management Committee has raised concerns over what it terms as ambiguous relationship with their broad-based partners, UDA. The Orange Party accused unnamed UDA party officials of unwarranted attacks on ODM leaders and attempts to intimidate some into crossing over into the party. Stephen Leto reports.
We are not going to answer questions.
The tensions between ODM and the UDA party came into the public Tuesday in Kisii when ODM deputy party leader and Kisii Governor Simba Arati told President Ruto to tame his party members who are fueling animosity within the broad-based government arrangement. During the party's Central Management Committee meeting, the Orange Party noted what it termed as unwarranted public utterances from some UDA members directed at the ODM party that threatened the relationship.
The Central Committee noted with concern the goings on and the unwarranted public utterances by some senior officials of the UDA party aimed at causing anxiety and disquiet among our members.
The ODM party now says it demands respect from its partners in the broad-based government arrangement.
As a party that believes in its principles, ideology, and the foundation on which it was founded, we demand respect from the UDA party.
The Orange Party has also resolved to kick off nationwide popularization campaigns in 25 counties, beginning in Nairobi. Stephen Leto, Citizen TV.
Kama kawaida, lazima story ibambe. There was a landlord who had a big plot, prime location, kila mtu anataka hapo. So he made a deal with a powerful businessman. We can share this land, but each of us sticks to our side. For a while, things were calm, until one day, the businessman started putting beacons everywhere, even on the landlord's side. The landlord panicked. Bro, tulikubaliana boundaries. The businessman smiled. Hii ni free market. Kila mtu apambane na hali yake. Now the landlord is stuck. If he fights, he risks losing everything. If he accepts, he loses control slowly. Ladies and gentlemen, the landlord is ODM right now. It is the ODM versus UDA right now, from handshake to hardball. For months, Orange Democratic Movement ODM and United Democratic Alliance UDA were moving like a couple that had already agreed on dowry. That is, talks of coalition, structured partnership, 2027 planning. Even William Ruto openly signaled working with ODM going forward. But then, April 16 happened. ODM hit the brakes hard. The real issues were zoning and Let's look at why this this animal called zoning matters. ODM came out demanding zoning, meaning hii area ni yetu, msilete candidates hapa. UDA said, democracy haina boundaries, tutachagua kila mahali. This translates to, ODM wants protection, UDA wants expansion. Now, let's look at the numbers. Yeah, the numbers don't lie. These are the numbers that ODM doesn't want you to think about. Let's talk facts from 2022. Nyanza, yeah, it has, and in this one we are looking at the ODM strongholds. That is Nyanza, Western, and Coast. Yeah, that's where the ODM is predominantly strong. Now, starting with Nyanza. Nyanza has 6 counties, and out of these 6 counties, there are a total of 210 wards. Out of these 210 wards, ODM won 133. Western has 4 counties. It has 165 wards. ODM won 58. Coast has 6 counties. It has 130 wards. ODM won 55. Total, ODM won 505 wards. Total wards are 505 wards, and ODM won 246. Now, here's the uncomfortable truth. That's not dominance, that's partial control. Because that 246 out of 505 does not even reach the 50%. ODM is strong, but not untouchable. The fear inside ODM is that this is where things get real. That without zoning, ODM MPs face UDA challenges. ODM governors lose assembly control. ODM grassroots structures get invaded. And in Kenyan politics, MCAs are the foundation. Lose them and the whole house starts shaking. Let's be brutal. Zoning is not about democracy. Zoning is political protection insurance. And it's leaders saying, tusifight sana, tulindani. But UDA is saying, hapana, tutafight kila mahali. Let's look at Wanga. Looking deeper, figures like Gladys Wanga are not just defending ODM, they are defending regional influence, because if zoning is accepted, they become gatekeepers of Nyanza politics. If zoning fails, even they must fight for survival. Now, ODM is finding itself in a very impossible position. Yeah, it is trapped in 3 realities. The reality 1 is to stay with UDA, gain access to power, but risks losing grassroots control. Reality number 2 is leave UDA, regain opposition identity, but risk internal collapse. Reality 3 is to do nothing, get slowly weakened from both sides. Hakuna easy option. Now, there is a silent invasion. ODM is also complaining about UDA poaching leaders, intimidation, and disrespect, which tells you something important. The takeover has already started, quietly, slowly, and systematically. Remember, the UDA is a government party, and it has resources, so it can fund campaigns against and for the candidates that they don't want and for those that they want, respective. The deep insight most people are missing here is that this is not just ODM versus UDA. This is boardroom politics versus ground politics. ODM thought we can negotiate power. UDA is saying power is taken from the ground. That's 2 completely different philosophies. The reality is that ODM supporters are confused, because the party that once stood for resistance, identity, struggle is now negotiating with the very system it used to fight. And now that system is competing with it directly. That's painful. And ODM is not pausing talks because it is strong. It is pausing because it has realized that the deal is not protecting it. And without protection, 2027 becomes survival, not strategy. This zoning fight is not about boundaries. It is about fear. Fear that 2027 might expose ODM's real strength or weakness. And if that exposure happens, ODM will never look the same again. If you want real, unfiltered, brutally honest political analysis, subscribe to HiiStory, because here we don't just report politics, we break down the power behind the headlines. That's my time. Bye.